Hi, John Terry with the International Martial Arts Council. I am so glad to have you with me today. I want to introduce a new program that we are rolling out to our school owners and instructors called the Worldzz Defenderzz. Now, you're going to have an opportunity to hear about this program today, but I first want to introduce my very special guest today, Mr. Bruce Stein. Those of you that, like me, have been fans of professional wrestling, Bruce has a little bit of a unique story about his background. I'm going to ask him to share as we get started. He's been in the toy industry for years, and there's kind of a unique tie to the WWF that I think is pretty interesting. But we're looking forward to sharing something unique that's going to be a valuable way for you to get more students excited about enrolling in your school. But first, Bruce, I want to say thanks for joining me. And would you take just a couple of minutes and introduce yourself to our instructors?
Sure. Thank you, John, for this opportunity. Just to let your group know, John and I started talking about this last June, so it's not something that we just threw together quickly. I had contacted John because I come out of the toy industry for the past 30 years, and one of the things that got me interested in this Worldzz Defenderzz was that I was fortunate enough to come up with the idea that I promoted to Vince McMahon, the original owner when it was the WWF, World Wrestling Federation, back in 1983. So I've been around the block. And I had gone to the Orient and had hand samples made of Hulk Hogan and Jimmy Superfly Snuka and Andre the Giant. And I told them that you've got the next G.I. Joe, so to speak. You got the next superhero. And they laughed at me and they said, basically, well, this is all theater. I said, the kids don't know that. And to make a long story short, the rest is history. I did get exclusive worldwide rights. Ultimately, they bought it back from me. It went to, ended up with Hasbro. So certainly I'm not Hasbro, but it stayed with me that the world needs superheroes. And the concept came to me a couple of years ago that why not create a group of martial artists who are real live superheroes who are following the mantra of their ancestors from 2,000 years ago. This is not a kiddie cartoon or anything. These are people like you that are serious about keeping the discipline mentality alive. And thus the idea for the Worldzz Defenderzz. I have an international licensing agency who locked me in, and they will be licensing any merchandising opportunities that come their way. But in the meantime, I needed to get a grassroots program moving. I ultimately got about a dozen federations, including yours, the International Martial Arts Council, to use the name on any action figures, whatever may come of it. And we created characters that are out to stop the world crises. And unfortunately, we got a new one to add with the Ukraine, which is, terrible. But at John's behest, he loved the idea, but he suggested that let's kind of target this specifically for the schools in a way that they could embrace this, and also that perhaps it could become a profit center for them. So get back to me. I called him 2 days later and I said, we're going to be the Worldzz Defenderzz, and it's going to be the T-shirt that becomes our first item that will piece of merchandise that will only be available through the schools, and that the kids, this will kind of bookend the anti-bullying programs that John already has introduced, and it will give the kids something to really reach for, to become one of the Worldzz Defenderzz, and proud to wear the No Bullying Allowed Here T-shirt that we will make available to the schools for the kids once they achieve the regimen that needs to be achieved, the rank, so that they can wear this proudly and not be afraid if somebody wants to test them because they're wearing this beautiful No Bullying Allowed Here T-shirt, that they can certainly defend themselves. And we want the parents to be able to have the shirt too, so that they show the child that they're behind them 100%. And that's kind of that's what brought us to this podcast.
Absolutely. But when Bruce and I first started talking, we were talking about all the conflicts that are going on in the world. And right now, as we're recording this, we're seeing the Russian invasion of Ukraine and all of the issues of war that many people that are in your schools have never experienced in their lifetime. So as a result of that, people are becoming aware that the world is becoming an increasingly violent place. And as Bruce and I have talked, and as many of you that are school owners have talked over the years, bullying has been a big problem. And it's an area that we, as the International Martial Arts Council, have sought to address with our nonprofit, the Fighting Back Institute, and our Kids Safe Communities program and our Women's Safe Communities program that several of you are using now to promote anti-bully and anti-rape and assault preventions in your school. But one of the things we saw during COVID, as kids were going home and everybody went online, we saw a significant uptick in the amount of bullying and harassment that was taking place online. And as many of you and I have talked, social media has become extremely toxic. And we've seen a scenario multiple times where kids have felt like they're being victimized to the point that they're dealing with verbal abuse, they're dealing with online abuse. And as you and I, as school owners, know, we're still seeing a significant number of cases of physical abuse in the home. When kids were in school, the teachers and those that were in authority in the school systems could recognize those signs of violence. But when kids went back home and they were being educated at home, oftentimes we weren't able to see those signs. And a number of children became victimized as a result of that. So as an organization and an association, we wanted to step up and do something about this. And as Bruce said, he and I began to talk over almost a year ago now and trying to identify some ways that we could really combat that. And one of the things we began to talk about is, could there be a different role model that we could put in front of our kids rather than some of the Hollywood celebrities that are living their lives in such a way that maybe aren't the role model that we want our kids to follow, or we don't want them following the latest TikTok or the latest Instagram sensation that may be living a life that doesn't support the values and the character that we believe our students should embrace and value in real life. And what if at the same time we could create a program that would allow you to attract more students into your school? And as Bruce and I have talked over the last several months, one of the things that we believe is that kids need to see that they're powerful. They need to get away from this victimization mindset that they are victims because of their skin color, because of their race, because of the fact that we've had COVID or whatever it is. They need to see that they can be victors in life and have an opportunity to live life to the fullest and realize that they don't have to be afraid of the bully. They don't have to be afraid of all the issues we see in the world, because as a martial artist, they have the ability to become a victor over the circumstances of life. So as a result of that, I had an opportunity to be introduced to the Worldzz Defenderzz. And I think Bruce has come up with a very brilliant strategy in terms of what he's doing. Building upon his expertise and working with the WWF and creating those action figures that literally became a household name. And I'm sure some of you were smiling as you're watching this video and you thought about that Hulk Hogan doll you've still got sitting on the shelf, or the Jimmy Superfly, character that you've still got sitting around, or you're still showing your kids Andre the Giant. And they're going, who's that? Because maybe they don't remember those characters from a foregone era. But I'd like to introduce quickly some of the characters that are going to be coming to the forefront as part of the Worldzz Defenderzz. So, Bruce, we've got Master Wong Do. And as you look at what you're developing, as I recall from our conversations, Master Wong Do is really going to be kind of the leader of this group of Worldzz Defenderzz. And then we've got Lev Bara, whose background is Krav Maga. And then we've got Karel, who is a Kung Fu fighter. Anything you want to share about these particular characters that our school owners and instructors can look forward to seeing them in terms of the other things you're bringing to the table?
Well, I felt that kids are, kids being kids, anything that's superhero-ish, they're going to be excited about. And the fact that we're creating these characters, and they're not available yet. We don't have any Mattel or Hasbro that actually licensed the product out yet, but our agency will be doing it, and we want to create more of a grassroots effort so that they can tell the potential licensees that, oh, it's been introduced in these schools, and kids now are excitedly waiting for the introduction of these characters. So there's going to be a lot of buzz about it. But even if there isn't, we want you to understand that there's a purpose to this, and why the T-shirt shows the logo of the Worldzz Defenders, because especially young kids, who wouldn't want to be a Worldzz Defenders? But we actually have a group of them, and it all really starts around Wangdu, which Master Wangdu, he is an ethereal figure of humble beginnings. He became a conduit for an ancestral samurai spirit as a young man, enabling him to predict violence and dispatch those who would harm him and his tight-knit clan of Tibetan monks, etc., etc., etc. So each of the characters, Chinua, Levera, Ngambe, Corral, Chanshun, Jean-Luc, these are all characters who are depicted in their primal beginnings in terms of mastering the art of their discipline and they're carrying it forward. And I didn't want this to be a hokey kind of thing with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles eating pizza in a sewer. I wanted this to be realistic. And in fact, the only way that I've got at least a dozen organizations to allow me to use their name was if we didn't go Hollywood, that we had to stick to the reality of the characters and what they're doing and why they're doing it. And this is a microcosm of unfortunately, what's going on in the world with terrorism. There's terrorism going on every day at school with our kids.
Mm-hmm.
And
right.
It's something that John has really put a lot of work into, and felt that anything that could be come to him from the outside that could help parents get behind an anti-bullying program, he would definitely want to be part of, and that's kind of how we got together on this, and I'm very excited about it, and I really hope that the schools get behind it as well, because it also becomes a profit center, which John can discuss with you.
Absolutely.
Besides being a something that the kids aspired to. Again, who wouldn't want to be a Worldzz Defenders, and who wouldn't want to stop the bullies?
Right. And as these characters have been developed and as they're going to be bringing toys and other things to the forefront, I love the fact that Bruce has taken the time to develop the characters, much like Marvel or Justice League has done in the DC comics. They've developed a story, and you have a backstory to each of the characters. Now, Bruce mentioned some other characters we haven't gone to yet, but of the three that you see here, there's other characters. And the idea behind this is you may have a Taekwondo school. Our neighbor down the street that's an IMAC member may be a karate school. It may be a Krav school. It may be a Kung Fu school. It may be a traditional weapons school. The idea behind the Worldzz Defenders is it is a collection of martial artists represent a variety of disciplines. So there's a good chance that your system or a similar system to what you offer is going to be represented that allows the students wearing and promoting this in the classroom and in the community to realize that this is part of what you offer in your school. Some of the additional characters include Ngimbe, who is a judo practitioner. We've got Chanshan, who is an Aikido practitioner. We've also got Chinua, who does Taekwondo, and we've got Jean-Luc, who does Kendo. So out of that, we've got a variety of martial arts styles and systems represented, and likely down the road, we're going to see other characters show up. But the first thing we wanted to do in terms of a grassroots effort is to really have something you as a school owner could add to as an additional profit center, but a way to let parents and to let other students in the schools that your current students are attending to have an opportunity to say, we teach anti-bully programs in our school. So with Bruce's help, Bruce has put together and developed a T-shirt that we're going to have an opportunity. There's a kid's version and there's a teenage version of this shirt. But the way we're going to bring this to the marketplace is all of our member schools are going to have an opportunity to acquire this shirt and to sell it in their school. Your school logo will go in the middle of this particular t-shirt as a way to let people know that you're a member of IMAC, but at the same time, your school is represented and you're also representing the Worldzz Defenders. Now, this is what the front of the shirt will look like. This is what the back of the shirt will look like. And then as we look at the front and back, this is the teenage version of the shirt that would be available. I'm going to stop the screen share for just a minute because Bruce has a copy that he wants to hold up and show everybody so you can see a mock-up of what the shirt actually looks like. So Bruce, do you want to hold that shirt up and give everybody a chance to see it?
Yeah, I want to make sure that there's nothing blocking it.
Absolutely. No, you're good. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Here's a sample of the t-shirt. And this shows the artwork of the younger kids in the age group, and that's the front. And as you can see, it would have the logo of IMAC. It would have the logo of the Worldzz Defenders. And by the way, we use a universal Taekwondo figure there in the logo. And in the back, you see what it looks like. And there's also some verbiage there that says, parents, sign your kids up and introduce them to the Worldzz Defenders. Join the universal movement to stamp out bullying.
Yeah, so I want you to think about that for just a minute as a school owner. If you've got your students walking around elementary schools, junior high schools, and having an opportunity to be advertising the fact that parents, you can sign your kids up to have an opportunity to introduce them to the Worldzz Defenders and that they can learn about the Worldzz Defenders and anti-bully programs and rape and assault preventions through your school, that is a form of very expensive advertising that will attract students into your school. Imagine your students wearing these as they go to Walmart, to Target, to the mall. They go out to eat. They're hanging out at playing putt-putt, or they're out running around on their bikes. And people see these shirts and their attention getting that bright blue color that they have. And I've got copies of the shirts as well so that you can see that. They stand out and the logos are full color. We're talking 5 to 6 colors here. So this is a very nicely done shirt. It's not some little cheap import. This is a very well done shirt that's been put together that you can have an opportunity to be proud of something that you're bringing to the marketplace. Now, let me real quickly jump back to what we were talking about, because I want to, for just a minute, go back to Bruce. And Bruce, as we're talking about the Worldzz Defenders, and you've already answered this to some level, but why the Worldzz Defenders, and what can a school owner expect as a result of saying, I want to let people know I have an anti-bully program, whether they're using our Kids Safe or a Women's Safe program, or they have a program of their own. Why is there value in using this and then having the opportunity as these other products, the action figures and other things are coming forward? Number one, it creates an additional profit center, but what else can it do for the school?
Well, I think it shows the parent that the school owner, by implementing the program and by fortifying it with this No Bullying Allowed Here t-shirt, really understands the significance of what's going on in the world with terrorism. Right, you don't have to go past the TV screen every night and see, unfortunately, what's happening. But I think that there's another war going on, and that's with our kids. Kids are scared to go to school. Kids are afraid to tell their parents what's going on, and these are kids that are getting bullied constantly every day. And I think it's very important to put the spotlight on the martial arts schools to show that, hey, we don't have to take it anymore, as that popular line from that movie. That our kids can be prepared. God forbid the situation arrives, and this martial arts association and this school in Iowa or New Jersey or wherever, they really understand the importance of it, and they're going to make this T-shirt available to only that person who passes mustard with what the school demands. This is not something to wear like you buy a T-shirt at a souvenir store. You've got to earn it. And there isn't any kid that would not want to be a Worldzz Defender particularly isolating the bullying venue. And I think it'll be a great opportunity for the school, because every kid that goes out, as John said, is a walking billboard, and it costs them nothing. In fact, they're making money on it. So I think that by John directing me from the overall concept, which he thought is terrific because of all the terrorism going on this world, we've got to do something to stop it. By him kind of leaning me towards, hey, let's start at the grassroots. Let's start at our schools. Let the school owners know that they've got to get behind this. And this is an added opportunity to educate their kids and the kids' parents, but also attract new kids. We know for a fact, I gave some of these shirts out just to wear, and immediately, where can I get that shirt? Where did you buy it? And the answer is, you can't buy it. You have to earn it, and you have to sign up at the local martial arts school. So everything leads that person, that parent, and that kid to the local martial arts school. And they're interested now and excited about joining the No Bullying Allowed Here venue that this school is offering that child. And the parent can also have the T-shirt to support their child. They will come in large sizes.
Absolutely. Yeah. So when you think about this as a school owner, one of the things that we teach here at IMAC is how to get you in front of the type of student that you want to attract in your school. And if you're looking to grow your student populace with elementary and junior high and even high school students, utilizing a T-shirt like this that gets attention and rolling out our Kids Safe program if you don't have one, or rolling out our Women's Safe program if you don't have one. And part of them signing up and going through the program is an opportunity to earn the shirt as a result of completing that. And now they get to go around saying, I've been through Kids Safe and I've learned how to be a safe kid. I've been through Women's Safe and I've learned what it means to live my life safely as a woman. And they have a chance as a teenager or a preteen to wear this. And they're advertising the fact that you offer this program. What are you doing? You're inviting the type of customer, the student that you want more of in your school to come and learn about you. Because as Bruce said, they can't go online and buy this shirt. They can't go find it on Amazon or Etsy or anywhere else online. They can only get this shirt through your school. And then as the licensing comes together and the action figures, and I'm hoping we see some comic books and some other things come out of this down the road, this can be additional profit centers that allow you to have additional ways to monetize your business by offering some unique value adds in your pro shop. Or if we see posters come out as an example, or other things that you can do to create some synergy, that kids want to buy a poster and hang Wong Do or one of the other characters in their house. Kids come over to play video games at their house and they see that poster. Well, where'd you get that poster? Well, lo and behold, they get to tell the story of how you can only get that through the martial arts school. Now they get introduced to the school. And again, a variety of different ways that a program like this, as we continue to expand it, can be extremely powerful. So how do you get involved with the Worldzz Defenders? Let me quickly say, as Bruce did, that we have, and I didn't mean to jump forward that fast, so let me back up there. We have T-shirts that are available to start this program. We've had an opportunity to show those to you in children's sizes and in adult sizes. That's step one, to begin to introduce the fact that you have a bully program. Now, you may have a school T-shirt that says, this is my school, and many of you do because I've seen them. But this one is unique in the fact that it exclusively speaks to bullying, which, as we've seen a number of surveys and studies, this is a major concern to parents right now. And as parents and mama bears are rising up to really begin to understand and look to get more control over what their kids are learning and what's happening in the school environment today, parents are paying more attention to what's happening. And they're discovering these bullying things that are going on. As their kids have been home rather than in the classroom, and they've been watching their kids, they're seeing this bullying take place on social media, and they want to be a catalyst to help stop it. This unique T-shirt tied in with one of our Kids Safe or Women's Safe programs, or a program that you may already offer, gives you a chance to let people know this is something our school uniquely does that you can't get from any other school in town, because not every school in town is an IMAC member. And as a result of that, if you're the only IMAC member school in your town, this becomes an exclusive way to market your school that nobody else can do. Now you stand out as unique and different in the marketplace. And guess what? When kids see a really cool t-shirt like this and they want to know how to get it, and they've got to go through your 6-week bully program or your 12-week anti-bully program or your 12-week rape and assault program for teens or preteens, now they've got an opportunity to earn that, and you're enrolling people in your program. If you have a similar program that you're doing for adult women and adult women want to promote that, women are looking in droves right now for rape and assault prevention programs because they're concerned, given the growing amount of violence we're seeing here in the United States in many of our major cities. How do I protect myself? So this can go beyond just your children, your elementary school, junior high, and high school. This program could actually be used to even reach into the women's market to address those women's issues. And those women will proudly sport that t-shirt to say, this is where I learned to defend myself. This is where I learned to gain more confidence. So if you've got an interest in this, I'd love to have a conversation with you. You can reach out to me through our website, imacusa.com, or you can shoot me an email, john.terry@imacusa.com, and say, hey, I'm interested. And I'd love to schedule a time to have conversation with you about how you can use this program in your school as a marketing tool to invite more students into your program. And if you don't have an anti-bully program or a rape and assault prevention program, I'd love to share with you what we're doing through the Fighting Back Institute and see if there's an interest in implementing that curriculum in your school as well. Now, you can also reach out to Bruce, and here's Bruce's information, Bruce Stein, Worldzz Defenderzz, and that's Trinity Marketing, TRINITY MKTG@AOL.com. Bruce, any comments that you want to share as we get ready to wrap up today?
No, just that this is, I think, a great opportunity, and it's a way to create more business. It's create a way to single your school out as opposed to another school, as John mentioned. And it's also going to be a profit center. And it could be, I don't know if you want to discuss that, John, pricing or anything now, or do you want to hold off on that? But it is not expensive at all. And everything would come through me. And we would be very, very happy to, if you're interested, to send you a price sheet that tells what it costs and how to get it. And it's very simple. We're trying to get ahead of the curve here. So any quick response that you can offer to John or myself would be a great help, because we know what's going on in the world with getting material and the chain, the merchandise chain. It's difficult unless you get your orders well in advance. So anything that you can do will help the whole organization.
Absolutely. Yeah, the more t-shirts that we can sell on the front end is going to give us the ability to go to the toy manufacturers and say, this is the level of interest in this particular program that's going to make it easier for us to bring these action figures and other things that we're having conversation about to you as a school owner to be able to offer those. Or think about this. If you've got an opportunity to walk into a department store and there's an action figure with an IMAC logo on it because they're going to be one of the endorsed symbols that are going to show up on these characters, and then they go looking around for an IMAC member school as a result of buying a toy at Walmart or Target or some other place that the kids buy toys, and they see this IMAC logo and they go looking online and they find out you're an IMAC member school, they're going to want to come to you to find out why your logo is appearing on this particular uniform that they wear. So again, the whole idea of marketing behind this is absolutely brilliant in what Bruce is doing. But we want to start with the T-shirt, and we want to start with really as an organization saying that we want to stand up to the bullying that's going on in the world around us. One of the things I promised you when I took the reins of IMAC was that we were going to build upon what our founder, Professor Kale, has done, but we wanted to create strategic alliances with people who were very like-minded that wanted to change the world for the better. And I love Bruce's forward thinking here of creating real life action figures that people can believe in, to have an opportunity to say, yeah, I want to be just like Wandu. I want to be just like Chan Shan. I want to be just like one of these characters. We've seen that with Star Wars. If you look at the Star Wars phenomenon that's really taken the world, you've got kids that go around saying, I want to be Obi-Wan, or I want to be, Qui-Gon Jinn, or I want to be one of the other characters that are there, because they're real life characters people can believe in. As this has continued to develop and these characters begin to come to the forefront, and the other things Bruce and his organization are bringing to the table, your kids are going to see this is a true to life character that I feel like I can embrace and be a part of. And we all want to be a superhero, as Bruce said early on. Growing up, I remember reading Batman and Superman and going in the backyard and playing like I was those superheroes. We want to get our kids playing like they're martial arts superheroes that are making a difference, because we as martial artists truly have an opportunity to make a difference in the world. We have an opportunity to really help stamp out bullying one child at a time. So Bruce, I want to say thank you for your forward thinking and bringing this program to our organization and giving us a chance to roll it out today. So let me mention one more time as we wrap up, Bruce Stein, Worldzz Defenderzz. You can email Bruce directly for information there, and he's happy to send information back to you. Our information, IMAC USA, john.terry@imacusa.com. Most of you have my phone number. Feel free to reach out to me there as well. Bruce, anything you want to add as we wrap up?
No, except that you should be on TV, John. Everything is no scripts. You're great. I have to tell you.
Well, thank you, sir.
No,
I'm very passionate about this, and I love what our school owners are doing to make a difference. And when I get excited about something, I can talk about it for hours. And so this is something that's near and dear to my heart, because I was bullied in school as a 13-year-old. And that was what got me started on my martial arts journey. Many of the school owners that are IMAC have a similar story. So for me, stamping out bullying is something that's important. I watched my kids get bullied. And as they went into the martial arts program I was teaching, they learned to be a victor and not a victim, and they learned to overcome bullying. I want that for every kid in the United States and every kid in the world. And with this T-shirt program, that's going to be part one of rolling out the Worldzz Defenderzz and all the amazing things with it. It's going to be an opportunity for our school owners to step up and say, we're going to make a difference in our community, and we're going to stop bullying one child at a time, and we're not going to quit until it's over. So anything else, Bruce, before we wrap up, sir? If not, we're going to call it quits.
We'll call it quits. Anything I say is going to pale in comparison. So.
Very good. Well, hey, I want to say thank you, school owners, for sticking with us while we shared this podcast. So please reach out to us and consider taking this project on, and let's work together to stamp out bullying in your community and in the communities around you. Having an opportunity to invite your students to be a walking, talking billboard, bringing more lookalike students just like them into your school. And together we can make an incredible difference in the marketplace today. So Bruce, thank you for joining me. Thank you, school owners, for joining me. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for being a member of IMAC. We appreciate your time, and have a great day.